Then what's up, everybody? My name is Jose Chamun, better known by my stage name Chips, and I'm a rapper from Long Beach, California. And today we're gonna be reacting to the first Blaze Bayley Iron Maiden album, which is X Factor, or I think the X Factor. Um, at this point, Bruce already departed, and he's not gonna come back until two albums later with Brave New World, which a lot of people have been hyping up that album. They've been like, "Yo, you just gotta survive these two albums." Some people even say these four albums dating back to No Prayer for the Dying. Personally, you can't say four albums because Fear of the Dark is in that four album run, and I think that album is fucking fire. So with that being said, let's talk about Fear of the Dark for a little bit. Quick update on that album, how I feel about it. Uh, a lot of what I said in in the reaction for Fear of the Dark, it still applies now. I still feel the same way, honestly. After listening to it for after listening to it more, I feel that it really is bogged down by the filler. Specifically, is it From Here to Eternity? Specifically, From Here to Eternity. Um, The Apparition, The Fugitive, and The Biggest Offender, Weekend Warrior. Fuck, man, that song sucks, man. I don't give a fuck if you're one of the people talking about, oh, the song's fire, oh, it's redeemable. You can't have all bangers. No, bro, no. You're excusing mediocrity. That's how we get bullshit artists and bullshit albums. When people are like, they become content with whack shit. Cause I'm gonna keep it real, man. That shit was whack, man. That man, Weekend Warrior is a fucking disappointment of a song, and it's ass, dog. That and The Apparition. If it wasn't for Weekend Warrior, Apparition would have been the worst song on the album, because that song, man, that song sucks too, man. It doesn't suck. The Apparition's not Weekend Warrior bad, but it suffers from a lot of the same issues for me. Like Weekend Warrior, the problem with that is that it repeated a kind of boring, lame riff, and it dragged on. And I could say the same things for The Apparition. The Apparition just kept going and going, and with the same exact flow and the same exact shit, to the point where I'm like, bro, I'm tired of this shit. Like, that's really what it was. I was just fucking tired of listening to those songs. And then From Here to Eternity, same thing. Like, it's cool, like, on the first listen because it's new Maiden. But then the more times I listen to it, or rather I don't listen to it, the more I'm like, bruh, I'm not trying to listen to this shit. So with that being said, but on the other hand, the highlights of Fear of the Dark are fucking highlights. They're bangers. Some of the best moments. I'm gonna just say it right now. For me personally, I put Judas Be My Guide up there with, like, Phantom of the Opera, The Trooper, Hallowed Be Thy Name. I think Judas Be My Guide is one of the most underrated Maiden songs ever. And personally for me, it instantly jumped to, like, at minimum, my top 15 Maiden songs. That shit is amazing. It's one of my favorite songs, not just in Maiden, but in general. Like, I love that song instantly as well. Like, it just gets better with every listen. You know, all thanks to my nigga Dave Murray. He went off, man. I'm telling y'all, Dave is the GOAT, man. But, of course, Fear of the Dark, the title track, it's a banger as well. Fear of the Dark. Like, I like the way it goes through multiple, things. Like, it's one of their epics. It's like Phantom of the Opera, Hollow, 22 Acacia. It goes through multiple phases, and I like the way Bruce was singing throughout the album. It was much better than No Prayer for the Dying. Like I said, like, the rasp helped Fear of the Dark. The title track, it made it sound better. Like when he's like, Fear of the Dark, Fear of the Dark. Like, it wasn't distracting, and it wasn't there just to be there. It wasn't there to be edgy. You know what I mean? It was it served a purpose and it sounded good. It sounded like the dark. And then obviously he incorporates what he's already done. He kind of does a little bit of the Power Slave Seven Son of a Seven Son voice in that same song when he starts like yelling out the feel the dark, feel the dark. I have a like, cause you know he touches that rasp, but it's not the disgusting rasp from No Prayer for the Dying and Tattooed Millionaire. So I really like that aspect, that Bruce toned down the bullshit edgy voice and learn how to better control it, if that makes sense, at least in my opinion. I think honestly the album had a pretty good mix of more epic somber tracks and then shorter, sweeter to the punch songs, right? You have stuff like Afraid to Shoot Strangers, Afraid to Shoot Strangers, where again it's another epic. It goes through multiple phases, and it's kind of a sad, somber, dark song, and then it's juxtaposed with like, you know, the title track. The opening track, the Be Quick or Be Dead. Like that is a punchy intro. Like kind of reminds me of Where Eagles Dare with the drums and shit, and it gets right into it. And another example of where Bruce was doing good with that rasp was the opening track. The way he's singing with the rasp actually legitimately to me sounds good. Like how he's going, how again, like I said in one of my posts, I really like the way he says money with his raps, like making the money. Like it sounds good. That whole track should have been like a blueprint for if he chooses to do that dumbass edgy raspy voice, he should do it like that, because it complemented everything and it elevated everything, as opposed to like giving clashing shit and like sounding amateurish. Because really, if anything, that's what I'm gonna say for No Prayer for the Dying. It sounded amateur. Like the singing sounded like, obviously I'm pretty sure at this point Bruce had never taken music theory or singing classes, because I know some people say he eventually does, but that's on his return. Like, so right now he still hasn't taken singing classes, at least I don't believe so. And so you could tell it's like this just isn't your lane. If you're gonna do rasp, leave that to Paul Diano, because he is him. All right, but back to Fear of the Dark. Again, if it wasn't for the filler and for the genuinely booty tracks, it would have been one of my favorite albums, because Afraid to Shoot Strangers is amazing. Wasting Love is amazing. Childhood's End is amazing. Fear of the Dark, Judas Be My Guide, Chains of Misery. Chains of Misery is nice, short, and sweet, and I love the lyricism. I love the message of the song, how we really are chained to the misery, because misery loves company, and we're chained to the misery of our anxiety, our fears, and that voice in our head, that little demon that tells you, oh, you're not good enough, oh, they don't want you, this, that, and the third, all the insecurities, the doubt, the anxiety. That song covers that in a beautiful, succinct manner. It's not over your head, and it's not like sad, like it's not, oh, you have anxiety type shit. No, it's like, it's punchy, and it's a banger. You got your chains of misery. Like it's, it has a bounce to it, and that's what I like about it. It's like you get this really deep message and almost dark ideas, but with like a real punchy, like upbeat sounding, like he's got your chains of misery. So that's what I really like about that song. But again, if it wasn't for the filler tracks, because even The Fugitive, I did like it on the first listen and all that, but upon further listens, the more I listen to it, the more I'm like, well, it's not that special. The beat switches weren't that crazy. Like, it was cool, but it was nothing where I'm like mind-blowing. So, man, it just would have sucked. I don't know if it's due to Martin Birch. I don't know if at this point he had left. I'm pretty sure he had left. I don't know if it's due to Martin Birch leaving, but the album suffered from a lack of restraint. That's really what it is, because the album is what, 12 songs long, right? Their previous works have been 7, 8 songs. You know, they've been pretty short and dry. At least their classics have been only a couple songs, right? And if you really, chop the fat from this album, it would have been a 7, 8 track album, right? Because it was 12 tracks and you cut out 3 of them, which is From Here to Eternity, Weekend Warrior, and The Apparition. You could even leave The Fugitive and it'll still be a classic. People would have more forgot about The Fugitive and it would have not been as talked about. But in my opinion, it still would have been viewed as a classic. But instead, they just decided to continue with their bullshit, and include songs that really should have never been included. Like Weekend Warrior, there's no way you're gonna justify that song for me, because talking about how booty that song is, it doesn't even fit into the context of the album. Jeez, I fucking hate that song. It sucks because it's like they're not my heroes, right? I just got into them, but it's like watching your heroes downfall. Like, it's like, God damn it, what did you guys do? What was going through their head to release that? Oh my God. No. Why did they do that? Like, again, as I said in the reaction, it gets me pissed because we legitimately got, at least in my opinion, one of the greatest Maiden songs, or at least in the album, it's one of the best songs, which is Judas Be My Guide. And we're directly thrown into the worst song they've made to date. Like, what's up with that bullshit, man? Like, that shit gets me more hot. It would have been cool if at least the booty songs followed each other, right? Like, if it would have been From Here to Eternity, then The Apparition, then Weekend Warrior, just so you're already like, all right, man, I already know we're gonna go through a slump run. You're already kind of used to it. You're like, well, there's nothing exciting me. I'm just gonna take it for what it is. But no, whoever the fuck sequence the track listing, they done fucked up. How are you gonna put Weekend Warrior as the penultimate track? Like, what kind of dumb shit is that? Especially considering that usually their penultimate tracks are some of their best stuff in the album, right? We're thinking Power Slave. We're thinking, my point is, their penultimate tracks are usually bangers. You know what I mean? And it's shit, like, come on, man. Come on. Weekend Warrior, man. Weekend Warrior by itself fucking killed the album for me. God damn it. And I know there's going to be defenders and you guys talking about, damn, this fool, he's dogging on Weekend Warrior so bad. Like, what's up with that? It's not even that bad. It's really not that bad. It just, think about it. I'm being dead ass. It sounds like old man music, dog. That and The Apparition, they both sound like old nigga shit. Like, when you're talking about old head shit, it just sounds dated, corny, and booty. That's the best way I can say it. That shit is not fun to listen to. Like, it's cute, whatever, haha, but come on, man. You telling me you really gonna put that on the same par as Fear of the Dark, the title track? No, you're not. Be Quick or Be Dead? No, it does not. Like, bro, it don't even belong in the same space. Like, put that shit back on No Prayer for the Dying. Please, take that shit off the album. Fuck. Alright, now that we're done ranting about Weekend Warrior, fuck that song. Let's talk about the album as a whole and how it fits. Honestly, now that we're done talking about Weekend Warrior, I can finally, praise the album more. Again, it might seem like I hated the album because I'm like dogging on it, but I really didn't. Like I said, I viewed it as so close to classic material. I legitimately think it could have been a classic. And it contains a lot of really, really, really good tracks. It just was bogged down by the filler. But that being said, I do think it's much better than No Prayer for the Dying. No Prayer for the Dying is ass, man. Well, it's not ass. It's not ass. Hold on. I don't want y'all freaking the fuck out talking about, what the fuck? It's not ass. It's just not Maiden quality. You know what I mean? It's not that make you, jump up and down, you're mind blown, like, how did they even create this type shit? Like, no, this is just cool. And Fear of the Dark is above that. and I can't say it's like on the level of even the worst of the classic album runs, because even the quote unquote worst, such as like in my opinion Number of the Beast, it still smokes it. It still has Number of the Beast, Invaders, Children of the Damned, 22 Acacia Avenue, Hallowed Be Thy Name. Like, that's shit. Those are some of the best Maiden tracks ever. 22 Acacia and Hallowed Be Thy Name. Like, what the hell? Whereas here, even the songs I liked in Fear of the Dark, as I said in the reaction, they were a little sloppy. Like the beat switch for Afraid to Shoot Strangers and Fear of the Dark, they were a little sloppy. I don't know if it was intentional to make them so abrupt, but I wasn't a fan of that because they had been consistently doing smooth beat switches, smooth transitions. That's always been the case. Power Slave, it's not like it randomly goes into the Egyptian sounding part. No, it eases into it. Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, it's not like it abruptly goes to the no, it eases into it and it eases out of it. And then other stuff too, like if you're gonna get more abrasive shit, they usually have a little like transition point, right? Like in Hallowed Be Thy Name, you're going from a very boom dun 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 dun, dun boom, right, with like the haunting sounds, then the I'm waiting in my cold cell, right, and then it abruptly switches into dun 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 dun, right, and it's like jarring. But the reason it works for Hallowed Be Thy Name is because they include a little transition part, which is Bruce. Bruce is what ties together the abruptness of the somberness of the intro and the sudden beat switch, because Bruce is running low, boom, and then that's when the beat drops, so it's smooth. Whereas here in Fear of the Dark, a lot of the beat switches, and at least not that I could remember, they didn't really have smooth transitions or smooth switches. So that was another thing that I was like, damn, like maybe it's because the chemistry was lacking. Maybe because at this point we had ran out of ideas. Maybe we wanted it to be very jarring. But that's not, I don't know, it just didn't make for like classic material, if that makes sense. They were still dope. It's specifically Fear of the Dark. That beat switch is good because it's so powerful. You go from Fear of the Dark, I am a man, whatever that walks the lonely road and all that, and then just do, right? But the thing is, at least for Fear of the Dark, my one complaint on the beat switch, the initial one, that transitions from like the starting instrumental part and the slower part to the quicker part, is that I would have preferred a couple milliseconds to a couple seconds longer of silence. Here Fear of the Dark's beat switch, here the drop. Right before the drop, they don't let it breathe, right? Like sometimes it's good to let the beat breathe, right? Sometimes you want it to linger in the silence, especially when you're thinking of a very dark track, and not dark in it that, oh, it's depressing or it's gritty, no, but dark in that it's moody, ethereal, almost fearful, dark as a setting, not dark as a mood, if that makes sense. But I guess you could kind of use them interchangeably, but I don't mean it like dark as in, oh, that was dark, he was talking about killing people. No, dark as in it just feels like midnight, right? Midnight. No, but but yeah, so on the whole, Fear of the Dark is definitely in my playlist, like the album, a lot of the songs, and I'm gonna definitely listen to it more, and I have been listening to it. It's just it had a couple misses, and that's all I could say about that album. With that being said, we're entering the first Blaze album, which is the X Factor, and a lot of people have been like warning me, like saying, oh, this shit's kind of ass or whatever. But then there's some people who've been like, yo, don't let the haters distract you or whatever. Like, it has its moments. And to be honest, I'm going in with more excitement than I am fear, because I want to check out what Blaze is all about. I've never heard Blaze. Like I said before, um, going into Bruce after Paul Di'Anno wasn't the worst thing for me because I already had heard The Trooper. The Trooper is the first ever Iron Maiden song I ever heard, right? So I knew Bruce's voice. We will live to feel another day, right? Whereas, and then with Paul, it was easy to get into him because he's the original singer, right? He's the original lead. So then Paul and Bruce, it was like smooth because it was just smooth. And then Blaze, like I said, I've never heard any of his music. I've never heard of his singing style. People haven't said shit, so I'm very excited to see what Blaze does. I'm interested if he's more dynamic like Bruce, or if he's more raspy and like more like emotional like Paul, if that makes sense. I feel like Blaze is gonna be more along Paul vocals because so far Maiden has been trending to go backwards, right? They've been trying to recapture the magic of the early days with more ethereal sounding lyrics, more darker, edgier subject matter, more dirtier versions of Eddie on the covers type stuff. So I feel like if we're still headed to that dark direction, and seeing the album cover of X Factor, like Eddie, you know, being like and like that type of stuff, like I feel like Blaze has to have a raspier voice than Bruce. I feel like he's gonna be more Paul than more Bruce, but I wouldn't know obviously, but I'm gonna find out right now in a little bit. So with that being said, oh pardon, and right before we head into the reaction, I want to say a big shout out to everyone who's been tuning in, who've been liking, subbing, sharing. You guys are the best, man. Like, again, I keep saying it, but I genuinely thought y'all were gonna abandon me after the 7 album run, after, you know, the Iron Maiden to Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, because I know these aren't the most popular albums, but y'all have been just, the channel's been growing and shit. Like, I wanted 100 subs by the end of the year. I'm almost at 200, like 2 months in or 3 months in. I don't know how many months I've been doing this shit. I don't know. Time is fleeting. But just special shout out to y'all, man. You guys are the best. I love each and every one of you guys. You guys be commenting some real fucking fire, some shit that like opens my eyes and shit, and shit that prepares me. And then like you guys also put me on to stuff that I probably would have never heard, like telling me about the B-sides and the lives and all that. And like, oh, here's some background information. So I appreciate you guys and I love you guys. I genuinely do, with all my heart. With that being said, let's head right into the reaction. Alright, sorry. As per usual, like how we do it on my channel, let's go through a little bit of the background info and also the track list, and then we'll choose what songs I'm excited to listen to. After the departure of Bruce Dickinson in '93, Blaze took over the vocals of Maiden. Given Steve Harris was in a particularly depressive phase, the content is at its darkest. Add the mood and a not so popular replacement, this album has divided opinions, but Steve lists it as one of his proudest achievements. The album title came about early in the recording. Quote, We felt all the way things were progressing. We all felt that the way that things were progressing, the songs, Blaze's involvement, the sound, the commitment, the new album really would have that extra quality, that bit of magic, that X factor. Genius. That I like that. I like that. This became the working title and we liked it, so we kept it. And then, you know, it's also at because it's our 10th studio album, X. Okay, that's pretty fucking genius. I like that. Let's take a look at the cover. The cover's fucking dark, man. And it almost looks like stop motion, CGI, Play-Doh, you know what I mean? Clay. It looks crazy. It looks dark. It don't look like some Maiden shit. But it has been leading up to this, right? Especially with No Prayer for the Dying. This would have looked more natural if it would have directly followed No Prayer for the Dying, because that was a pretty dark cover. And then Fear of the Dark kind of took it back a little bit, like, because it had that more cartoony Eddie in the tree. Let's see, 11 tracks, Let's choose 3 songs I'm excited for. Number 1, Lord of the Flies. I know of the story, so if it's based on the story, then that's why I'm excited for it. The other one I'm excited for is a lot of these sound cool. A lot of these songs sound dark. Lord of the Flies, Man on the Edge, Fortunes of War, Judgement of Heaven, Blood on the World, The Edge of Darkness. Like, a lot of these sound dark, man. Like, I'm excited for a lot of them just from the way they sound, like the title. But I'm going to say the 3 that I'm going to look out for are Lord of the Flies, Fortunes of War, and Judgement of Heaven. Those sound cool. I'm going to look out for those. So with that being said, let's just get right into track 1, Sign of the Cross. My first time listening to Blaze Bayley Maiden. I'm excited. Damn, an 11-minute intro? Holy shit. Is this the longest intro? It almost sounds like church music, like Catholic shit, like Devil May Cry. I like this slow, ethereal build-up. I'm fucking with this already. Oh, that's Blaze! His voice is tight! I really like the sound of this song already. It's like dark and epic. Almost reminds me of Alexander the Great with the like the militaristic drumming. This does sound like Alexander the Great now that I think about it. I like this.
Sensing a change in the tide of earth, up on the storm that is brewing.
This is tight. Interesting. This reminds me of Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. This is I like this song.
Chose the lust of the earth below. 11 saintly shrouded men came to wash my sins away.
I like that singular note on the left ear at the end. All right. So instantly, the first thing I want to talk about is the elephant in the room, Blaze. I really, really, really like Blaze's vocals for the intro and outro. The come to wash my sins away. He seems like he's really good at that, like, dark, ethereal, softer, somber sound. And even in the chorus, it sounded epic with, like, the sign of the cross. Like, it was cool, but honestly, it's only natural. Like, there's no other way to say this, but I could see Bruce doing this song better, because I feel like this was written with Bruce in mind. Not written for him, but like that. Maybe they didn't switch it for Blaze's vocals, because think about the chorus. The sign of the cross, the name of... Like, yeah, Blaze sings it well, but I could genuinely see Bruce losing his mind going, the sign of the cross! You know, like, I could see him being an air siren. But this was still tight. The verses, they were cool, but I really didn't like them as much as the intro and the chorus. I really like the intro and the outro, the way it sounds with the slower beat and the more ethereal feeling. Oh, this, and then like I said, this song had a lot of elements of what they already had done with the instrumental part. The instrumental break went through a lot of stuff they already had done with the they've done that before. They've done that on Phantom of the Opera. It's not necessarily a complaint. It's just like, okay, so this is their lane. This is what they do. This is what they're comfortable with, right? But I was able to pick out a lot of previous songs. I heard some Hallowed Be Thy Name, some Phantom of the Opera, some Fear of the Dark. Like, if you combine all those songs, take little parts of them, you'll get this song, like, if that makes sense. I'm not saying that it's, like, on par with them or whatever. I'm just saying, like, certain elements. Let's read the about. This epic track was inspired by the novel The Name of the Rose, which tells the tales of a monk in medieval Italy defending himself. The sign of a cross is a gesture made primarily by Catholics, and in which a person draws a cross on their body. That right? It was the first time Iron Maiden opened up with an album with an epic instead of a fast-paced rocker, explaining why the X Factor had concerts starting with Man on the Edge, which is true, right? Invaders is fast, Prowler is fast. I don't know if you could really say the Ides of March is fast. It's not an epic, but it's not a fast-paced rocker, I wouldn't say. But yeah, they're right. This is the first time where we've started with an epic. This was cool. It was interesting to finally hear Blaze. Like, I want to see more of what he could do. What's his range? But honestly, vocally, he wasn't nothing like what I was thinking. He doesn't even lean into Bruce or Paul. He's like perfectly in between them. He has a much, much, much cleaner sounding vocal than both Bruce and Paul. Paul, I would, from the three singers so far, from the three Maiden singers, I would say Paul's way left on the spectrum of rasp and dirty and punky and amateur in the best way possible. I'm not talking shit about Paul. I'm saying, like, everything I just said, it's a compliment. I mean it in the best way possible. He's on that lane. Then on the other side, you have bombastic, operatic, dynamic way on the other side. And perfectly in between so far from one song, you have Blaze, who his vocals are clean. I heard no rasp at all. Kind of like Bruce sometimes when he does his shit. but at the same time he wasn't hitting. He didn't sound not uncomfortable, but wasn't reaching those kind of stuff that would make you like make that face when you're starting to sing, right? He wasn't. To me, it didn't sound like he was exerting himself, which Bruce, a lot of time he has that sound in the best way possible, like when he's going children of the damned. Like, I know Bruce doesn't look like he's exerting himself, but it has that sound and that feeling, whereas Blaze sounded very comfortable within his established range. He chose one frequency and stayed there, if that makes sense, right? Like the sign of the cross. It was just there. Boom, we're staying there. We're not deviating, which can be a good or bad depending on who you are. Personally, I think it was fine because it didn't need too much bombastic singing because a lot of the instrumental covered that, and I really like the use of like the more choir, ethereal chorus in the background, the voices, and the subdued instrumental, and then the way it picks up. This was a good intro. This was solid. Let's keep going. That was a pretty good intro. Solid. Good introduction to Blaze. Let's head into track 2, Lord of the Flies. This was one of the ones I was excited for because I know somewhat of the book and story. Steven's going in with the bass. This sounds epic. This sounds badass. The drumming with the bass. This is dark and badass. It makes me feel like Stranger in Strange. Instrumental is tight. It fucking sounds badass. It almost reminds me of a little bit of Son of a Gun by Bruce. besides the way the guitar sounded, because it sounded almost like an alarm. I like Blaze's vocals, like when he's doing just like harmonizing melodic sounds. That was cool.
Something within us. We are Lord of the Flies. Saints and sinners. Something within us to be Lord of the Flies. Saints and sinners. Something within us. We are Lord of the Flies. Saints and sinners, something willing us to be Lord of the Flies.
I love that guitar part, that riff. This just sounds badass. Ah man, I would have liked if they would have continued that section a little bit more. I like that. It just sounded badass. Alright, so we're getting more of like Blaze and stuff now that I'm getting to hear him more. As I was saying in the middle of the reaction, my problem with Blaze, or at least it's not Blaze's fault. I swear this isn't Blaze's fault, but the way Steve wrote for Blaze, you could tell he was missing his air siren, right? Because the way it was written, it's I don't care for this world anymore, right? Whatever. I just want to live in my own fantasy, right? And the way Blaze sings it, it's almost like how I sing it when I'm singing along, just almost lackadaisical, like I just want to live my own fantasy. Whereas you could tell it was designed to have more energy. The I don't care for this. Well, right, a snappy, punchy beginning of the line. You could tell that that's what it was intended to be. But saints and sinners, something within us. Yeah, see, like you could tell that. I'm pretty sure Steve was missing his air siren, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm really not trying to compare them, but it's just natural, especially considering like I've already heard like 5 albums with Bruce type shit, or even more, I think. But even besides that, Blaze within his own right so far, he's not bad. He's not bad. He's just not good for the writing style Steve is doing, right? But his actual voice, it's clean, it's smooth. It's not overly raspy. It's not overly like dynamic. He just sits within his pocket. And that's fine if the songs were designed to fit him in his pocket. Now, lyrically, of course, it's one of the summarization songs about Lord of the Flies. I'm pretty sure Lord of the Flies is like... Is it the one where like kids... Alright, see, because they don't summarize it. I think, I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure Lord of the Flies is like the kids that like make a little like society or whatever, because they're shipwrecked or whatever, and then like they start doing fucked up shit, basically like commentary on like society and stuff. I'm pretty sure, right? That's Lord of the Flies, right? Killing so we survive wherever we roam and stuff. Like I found I like living in danger, living on edge. I'm pretty sure that's what I was saying is the truth. There's not much to dig into the lyrics, because I've come to just accept that when it's like more Lord of the Flies, when it's like more summarization songs, to just let the lyrics go. Just there's not much to break down because it's just a summarization. And then in relation to X Factor, like the title of the album, it's like I can't even really connect Lord of the Flies like that to that X Factor, like, because the X Factor is a feeling, not really a summarization of what the album is gonna have, if that makes sense. They feel they have that X Factor, and honestly, so far I don't hear that X Factor, but they heard something. That's the thing about Blaze. You don't just randomly pick a random ass singer, nigga. You don't pick a random nigga to join. Well, at this point, you are a legendary band. At this point, you've already done the World Slavery tour. You know, you're firmly like, yo, we're 7 albums in and we've made bangers. And obviously, well, it's more like 9 albums in, but this is the 10th one. But still, point being, a band like Maiden doesn't just willy nilly choose the next singer to follow up Bruce. So I wonder what was the X factor they heard in Blaze's audition. I wonder if his audition is on YouTube, because someone told me Bruce's is. So I'm really curious, what did they hear with Blaze? What songs did they put him to sing that were Bruce's songs, if any? Very interesting. Let's keep going. That was Lord of the Flies. Next track, track 3, Man on the Edge.
The freeway is jammed and it's backed up for miles. The car isn't over and baking is wild. Nothing is ever the way it should be. What we deserve, we just don't get to see. A briefcase, a lunch, and a man on the edge. Each step gets closer to losing his head. Is someone in heaven? Are they looking down? Nothing is fair. Just
Makes it Blaze is really very that
falling down, falling down, falling down, falling down.
I like the energy of this song.
Falling down. Sick of waiting, of lying like this. There's a hole in the sky for the angels to kiss. Branded a leper because you don't mention the land of the free. You just live by your whips. Once he built missiles of nation's defense. Now he can't even give birthday presents. Across the city he leaves in his wake. A glimpse of the future, a cannibal state. Falling down, falling down.
I like the chorus. It's simple, but it's tight.
Falling down, falling down, falling
Nichols been going in. Oh, I don't know. All right, that was Man on the Edge. That's probably my favorite one so far. I really like that infectious energy. And the solos are tight. With the whole instrumental was is laced with so much energy. And honestly, at first, I'm going through confusing emotions and conflicting thoughts about Blaze because sometimes the way he's singing, I'm like, it could have been better. But sometimes I'm like, it's perfect. I can't explain it. Like when he did the chorus once, the first time I was on board with it. The falling down, falling down. Then the second time he did it, I was like, okay, I would have liked more variation. I wish he would have like put more. Again, my biggest thing with Blaze so far is he just doesn't sound like he puts a lot of like he doesn't it's more like he sounds very, I don't know if I'm wrong or correct on this, but he sounds very trained. That's the biggest thing about Blaze. He sounds very classically trained, and I don't know if that's the case, if he is classically educated in singing, but that's what it sounds like. But then again, sometimes I'm feeling it, but when he did it again and on the outro, the falling down, it was getting me hyped. Like, man, like, I like this. The freeways jam is backed up for miles. The car is an oven and baking is wild. I don't know what that has to do with the falling down stuff. Oh, he's stuck. He's baking in his car with his license plates. Okay, yeah, man. Like, I've never seen that movie, but like, that shit sucks, dog. I be traveling to and from LA quite often, and being in the traffic with the heat and shit, especially with a broken AC, like, that shit is whack, man. I mean, for me, it doesn't bother as much anymore because I just put on my music loud as fuck and I have a concert in my car. But it does suck, man. I really like the sonics of this song. This is a very hype song. I can't wait to hear the live version featuring Bruce and Adrian Smith. Like, I could only imagine how fucking crazy that version is gonna sound. I bet it's faster paced as well. This was tight. This was that much needed injection of energy, especially after. I know it's the third track, but especially after Sign of the Cross, you definitely needed, like, you need to wake up. And Lord of the Flies wasn't too banger like this one. Like, this was a rocker. This was like falling down. I like this one. I think this one's gonna grow on me a lot. This song's tight. Man on the Edge, I fuck with this one. Let's keep going. Track 4, one of the ones I was excited for. Fortunes of War. Another long song. He has a really good voice for this type of stuff. Like the intro and outro of the first song, Sign of the Cross. He has a really good voice for this.
I'm scarred for life, but it's not my flesh that's wounded. So how can I face the torment alone?
PTSD.
It seems, and all the recurring nightmares, I lay there and sweat until it gets light.
I like that noise. I don't know what it's called, though. Interesting. They cut it off right as it was getting hype. Interesting. This is tight. This is like an extreme version of Killers. Like the way they're building it up and stop and then build it up. I think it's Killers. This is tight. This just sounds badass. It's fucking dark.
People say don't worry, say the time's a perfect healer, that the nightmares they will come to pass. Can't do what they're saying. I am living in my own world, and I'm feeling trance-like all the time. I hear voices in my head. Could I really be going crazy? Then the night the vision seems so real. Do you care if you live or die? When you laugh, are you really crying? You're not sure what's real anymore. Fortunes of war, fortunes of war, fortunes of war. No pain anymore. Fortunes of war, fortunes of war, fortunes of war. No pain anymore. Fortunes of war.
Beat is going in. What the hell is he playing? What's that sound? What kind of guitar is that?
Fortunes of war, fortunes of war, fortunes of war. No pain anymore. Fortunes of war.
This is tight.
Fortunes of war, fortunes of war, fortunes of war.
I didn't think the transition back to the original instrumental was that good.
Fortunes of war, fortunes of war, fortunes of war. No pain anymore. Fortunes of war. Sometimes I wake, I feel that my spirit's broken. I wonder if I've the strength to carry on.
I like that. What is that? What is that called? Can someone please tell me what those sounds are called on the guitar when it goes like wow? Okay, that was Fortunes of War. Another great track. Again, same complaint issue whatever I have with Blaze is what I've been saying throughout the whole album is that Blaze himself needs more energy. He's just so chill. Fortunes of war, fortunes of war. Like I would have liked that right after this part. He does the chorus, then the instrumental, then he does the chorus again. What he really should have done was the chorus, the instrumental break, and then lose his mind and be like, fortunes of war. Like absolutely like wreck your vocals, you know, not wreck them, but you know, like throw in some passion is what. Well, this was a great song. This is one of my favorite ones off this album so far. This one and the previous track. I love when Blaze does his, because I'm pretty sure he does it more than Bruce. Like Bruce has done it a couple times, like when he like harmonizes with his voice and just does like oh, oh, oh. But Blaze so far has been doing it a lot more, and we're only 4 tracks in, and he seems to be really comfortable with using his voice, not just as a voice, but as an instrument. Just, you know, just vibing out with the band, using yourself to play with them, to be like, oh. And it's fucking tight. It makes the songs more somber and epic feeling. That I really like that about Blaze. I hope that's something that Bruce employs later on when he comes back, because I really like that. I just love vocals like that harmonize in the background and shit. It just sounds epic. It gives it this like choir, chorusy, Catholic feeling in a way, like Sistine Chapel ass vibes. I don't know. Yeah, Fortune of War and Man on the Edge. I'm fucking with those. These are tight. Even I mean the intro was good as well. The intro one. This was tight. This was cool. Fortunes of War. Again, I could see Bruce doing this better. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I could see him doing this song and just like absolutely shredding his vocals. But for what we have recorded now, what is official, what is in their discography, even, you know, years past when they die, when I die, when this channel, you know, is long gone, this will always be the canon, you know, right? This version. Doesn't matter how many lives, how many covers Bruce does. This is the song, you know. Blaze, that's one thing I'm gonna say. I guess I should save it for the outro, but no matter what I say about Blaze, or no matter what anyone thinks of Blaze, nobody could take away from the fact that he is Maiden. Not that he embodies it, but he's a part of their history, and he has 2 albums with them, and he will forever be known as a Maiden member. I don't care if his best work was somewhere else, or if this is his worst stuff. I don't care. He's a member of Maiden. He's been a member. That's all that matters. And, you know, so it might seem like I'm dogging on him or comparing him a lot to Bruce, but it's just for the sake of discussion. If this wasn't a reaction series and I'm listening to this on my own, I wouldn't be here as like scrutinizing it as much, if that makes any sense. But again, for what we got, it's pretty fucking solid. I just know that there's something better out there. There's a guy out there, a certain guy. You might say that his name reminds you of Dick in his son. I'm joking. But yeah, it just sucks because you know that there's a vocalist out there better who has better chemistry with this band. That's all I'm saying. But this was a good track, man. I really like the somber feeling, the guitars, the just everything. Again, as I said though, throughout the whole album, I feel like something's off with the mixing, because oftentimes, I don't know, but like I feel like maybe it's the mixing or just the way he sings, but I feel like Blaze, similar to the first 2 albums, he kind of gets lost in the sauce at times. Which, again, I don't know if that's mixing or that's just downright to the artist, which is Blaze. Let's keep going to the semi-midpoint with track 5, Look for the Truth. This whole album has been dark. not dark, but like somber. I like that. I really like the sonicscape of this album. I really like it. It sounds very cathedral-esque, dark, moody, brooding. Brooding is the word I would say. But brooding isn't an insult. So many people think it is, but it's dark, gritty. But not in a hopeless way. Just, I don't know how to explain it.
My dark dream drift like smoke in the breeze.
See, like Blaze is exceptional at these type of vocals. This mood.
As I fall towards my sleep.
I really liked his voice crack. You could tell he was parched. But I like that. I have that in my own music where I leave that in. It's natural.
That never ends. Here is the dream that makes monsters of men.
See, like he's putting more energy into this one. The drum work has
In
been
the house of my
fire.
soul, in rooms of ugliness
See?
and cold.
This is the
Memories
energy
locked
he
away.
needed for previous
All the
tracks.
doubts and fears I never faced, now they come again. I am falling down to meet with them. Fears within us all, mind awake, and they stand up tall. Look for the truth, deepest cut of all for you. Knife of the truth, blade of hatred slicing through.
I love when he does that.
I pray my sleep will break. Maybe this time I won't wake. Weakness I hide so well. This dagger in my mind will tell. It's my final stand. I make a fist out of each hand. The shadows of the past take a breath, and I scream attack. Look for the truth, deepest cut of all for you. Knife of the truth, blade of hatred slicing
drumming, man.
through. Here is the
Echo, man.
truth, deepest cut of all from you. Knife of the truth, blade of hatred slicing through.
I love his vocals when he just harmonizes. This part almost sounds a little synthy in a way. It seems like Yannick often goes before Dave on a lot of the solos. I wonder why. I could do a whole album of him just harmonizing. All right, that was Look for the Truth. That one was cool as well. Okay, so honestly, y'all niggas were downplaying this album. It's pretty fucking solid. I wouldn't say it's nothing where I'm like, yo, you have to listen to this, but it's had its moments. I really like the and like seeing this one in this song, he brought that energy that I was talking about that he needed. Like, see, I wish he would sing more like this, like on Lord of the Flies and shit like that. Man, Nico McBrain, he's been a highlight for me so far this whole album. His drumming has been fucking crisp, especially in this song. But like, I don't know what sound that is. I don't know which part of the drum, but like when it was going like I can't recreate it. But like that part, oh my goodness, oh Nico, he's been putting in work. This probably, I'm gonna keep it real. Maybe it's because maybe they mixed it different and they made them louder, but I'm really want to say that my favorite Nico performance has been this album so far. I feel like, well, this one and his first one, the Peace of Mind, but Peace of Mind, it was designed for him. Like, obviously where he goes there with his iconic, obviously, like, you know, the way he starts it off. But this album, Nico's been showing up and showing out. I love the dark, somber nature of the whole album, and I like that there's a lot of moments of slow singing and stuff in the intro. I like that because that means Steve Harris was writing utilizing Blaze in mind, saying, okay, Blaze sounds heavenly when he does that slow, somber stuff, so let's add that to a lot of the songs. And I love whoever's decision was to keep his like melodic singing. I love it when he just goes, oh, that shit's tight. This is cool, man. Lyrically, I can't. This whole album really hasn't been much to talk about because a lot of it's pretty obvious. But I mean, like the About says, this song is about facing and overcoming one's fears. He's having nightmares about them and eventually faces off his past demons. Which is, yeah, like, you know, that's why that's why I say it's my final stand. I make a fist out of each hand. The shadows of the past take a breath and scream attack. You know, he's like, fuck it, let's go. You know, which as it should be like that, because if you keep running away from your fears and stuff, you know, it never ends good, because you're always gonna run for the rest of your life, and nobody wants to do that. You ain't trying to be a bitch, you know. Like, what's the worst part about losing? You lose, okay? You swear like you haven't lost before. Most of us have lost multiple times. What's a few more losses? Who cares? Just do your thing and just hope all you could do is hope that you tried your best. That's all that matters, really. Like, yeah, we've been making fun of like participation trophy, but honestly, there's something to be said about just trying. Who cares if you fail? As long as you don't quite literally die, then it won't matter at the end. So just face your fears, do whatever you want to do. Stuff almost like that one Bruce Dickinson song of Tattooed Millionaire. I forgot which one it is. Where he's saying the same type of stuff. I'm pretty sure it's the Gypsy one, Gypsy Road. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, with that being said, this was another solid track. I'm really liking this middle run, the Fortunes of War, Man on the Edge, and Look for the Truth. Let's keep going. This is pretty solid. We're headed to track 6, The Aftermath. Yeah, this album's dark, man. Like, this whole thing just sounds dark. But I like that. That's a plus for me. This is gorgeous. this was just okay. I'm really disappointed because this shit was good.
Should we be fighting at all?
It's not bad, definitely not bad. I like this sound. This dark brooding sound is fucking fire. All this is amazing. It's the verses I'm like.
Once a plow man hitched his teeth.
Like it's cool. Not that I don't like it. It's just
Little dream. Bodies, arms, and legs are strewn where mustard gas and barbed wire flew. Each moment's like a year. I've nothing left inside for tears. I'm rage dead or dying right. I'm left alone, asking why. In the mud and rain.
I like the lyrics.
What we fight for is it worth the pain? Is it worth dying for? Who will take the blame? Why did they make a war? Questions that come again. Should we be fighting at all?
The way he extended the all was tight. Oh.
After the war, left feeling no one has won. After the war, what does a soldier become? After the war, left feeling no one has won. After the war, what does a soldier become?
That's actually a good question. That's an interesting question. This whole instrumental has been fire. It's the verses that I'm just like, they're cool. But this is fire.
What is it for when the battles are done? After the war, and then no one has won. I'm just a soldier.
This is tight. It's almost like the color of the stars. Hey, it's tight.
After the war, left feeling no one has won.
I would have liked for the guitars to extend a bit more. The beat switch was a little rough.
After the war, left feeling no one has won. After the war, what does a soldier become?
See, that's gorgeous. The instrumental with Blaze just going, oh. Okay. Let me put respect on Blaze real quick. I was low-key disrespecting the song and him. Like, nah, you know what? This song was fire as well. Like, at first, I was like, the verses. But nah, as the song went on, I was feeling the song more. Especially at first, I was like, I wasn't feeling the bridge at first. The way he was singing it, the like, after the war, what the... But you know what? Nah, like the way he's singing it, it sounds epic. Like, after the war. Like, it sounds tight. Like, you know what? At first, I thought... At first, I wanted like more like energetic, like after the war, left feeling no one has won. But nah, this is epic. This sounds like cinematic. If that's that's the best way I could put it. Like after the war. This is tight. This is cool, man. All right, Blaze, I'm settling into your sound, Blaze. Let me put respect on your name. Let's keep going. All right, we're headed to track 7, Judgement of Heaven. I believe this was one of the ones I said I was hyped for. This reminds me of From Here to Eternity. I'm pretty sure that's the one I'm thinking of. But like this riff is reminding me of that.
A lonely cry for help, reaching out for help to anyone. A silent prayer to God to help you on your way. I've been depressed so long, it's hard to remember when I was happy. I felt like suicide.
Why is he singing about me?
That's the easy way. That's the selfish way. The hardest part is to get on with your life.
He's right. The hardest part is staying.
Searching in the dark, clutching at straws to find a way. You take the tarot cards and throw them to the wind. You question your beliefs, your inner thoughts, your whole existence. And if there is a God, the answer, if you will, tell me of my fate, tell me of my place, tell me if I'll ever rest in peace. If you could live your life again, would you change a thing or leave it all the same? If you had your chance again, would you change a thing at all? When you look back at your past, can you say that you were proud of what you've done? Now the times that you believe that the right you thought was wrong. All my life I have believed judgment of heaven waiting for me. All my life I have believed judgment
I like the way he's doing the chorus. It's nice.
waiting for me, waiting for me, waiting for me, waiting for me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the bridge, that little post-chorus part, they did a lot to help them. I had to do that. That was smooth, the way they changed the beat. That was fucking smooth. It was abrupt, but it was smooth. It came out of nowhere. That was tight. This is tight. The guitar work is heavenly.
All of my life now I have believed
this.
All of my life I have believed judgment of heaven is waiting for me. All of my life I have believed judgment of heaven is waiting for me. Waiting for me. Waiting for me. Waiting for me. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
That was cool. That was Judgment of Heaven. See, I need to put more respect on Blaze Bayley's name because, like, I don't know why, but within the first 1 to 2 minutes, at first I'm not feeling them with almost every track. I'm like, I don't know. But as the song settles in, it's more like, okay. I see what you're doing, Blaze. So, like, again, I apologize. Not feeling Blaze in the first 1 to 2 minutes. It's not because I'm comparing him to others. It's just, I don't know, for some reason I gotta ease into the way he's approaching the song, and it's interesting. By the halfway point of the songs, I'm feeling it. Like, I'm like, all of my life I have believed judgment of heaven is waiting. Like, it's time, man. Obviously lyrically, it's about really, like, questioning your beliefs, right? Like, for so long I reached out for God, I cried for God, give me a sign you exist. But, like, for so long I lived thinking judgment of heaven, but I don't even think the judgment of heaven is coming for me, right? Because it seems as though there is no God. It seems as though there's not someone out there who's gonna change everything and all that type of stuff. If there's a God answer type shit, like, if there's a fate, tell me my place. But yet no one ever does. And I gotta put respect on this album. I feel like this album's gonna grow on me because, like, it's taking some time to ease into the sound, but the more I'm listening to it, the more I'm like, yo, this is kind of tight. I'm thinking back on previous songs, like, all right, let's keep going. This is tight. This is cool. All right, we're headed to track 8, Blood on the World's Hands. This one sounds tight as well. Oh, Steve is having a solo? Okay, Mr. Harris. Let's see what you got. Doing a bass solo makes the song sound, like, dark, grim. I like the way he's choosing to speed up then slow down, and then just every now and then, boom. See, it sounds like creepy, ominous, like someone's creeping up on me. Something's about to happen. Like, it sounds tight. I like the bridge. It's like,
goes on.
this song is heavy, man. Is that Dave?
Blood on the world's hands. Blood on the world's
This was bad. This song's nice.
Blood on the world's hands. 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 Brutality and aggression. Tomorrow another lesson. Expecting another air raid. Praying for a ceasefire. They say things are getting better. No need to be complacent. There's chaos across the border, and one day it could be happening to us. It's out of control. Blood on the world's hands. It's our epitaph. It's out of control.
This song's heavy.
Someone should know. Blood on the world's hands. Someone should.
Alright, that was Blood on the World's Hand. Alright, so the about says it's about the Bosnian wars. I don't really know the correlation to the Bosnian wars. I'm pretty sure it's based on it, but I don't know where it comes from in the lyrics. Cause technically it could be about any war, right? It's not something that's like, it doesn't say like Bosnia, you know what I mean? But man, obviously, you know, Blood on the World's Hands, like, right, like, let's read the let's see the annotation, what they got to say about this first. Whatever, it's not loading. To me, it seems like Blood on the World's Hands means that we, by extension of being here, we are the world. We are of this world, right? So, whatever horrors, atrocities mankind does, that blood is on the world's hands, right? Like, it's not just, oh, the Bosnians and all that. It's not just America's hands. It's not just the Border Patrol. No. We are one. We are one world. We are one species of human beings. So therefore, any inequities and blood on one race, one country is on all our hands, right? Like, we are all a part of it, whether that be because we could have helped or we could have done this, that, or the third, or we influenced it. I feel like that's what the chorus says, right? Like, the blood on the world's hands. It's not just singular. We share the blood as a singular unit. We hurt together, if that makes sense. And the actual verses and stuff were pretty, self-explanatory. But I do like the first verse, how he says, it makes me wonder, it makes me question, makes me sad, and always it makes me angry, because you see it happening, the sea of madness, right? The madness, sea of madness, that's all around you. Nobody seems to worry, and the world seems so helpless to act. That's why the blood is on the world's hand, because too many people say, oh, it doesn't affect me, oh, it doesn't affect, but it does, because you're on the world. That's what the song is saying, right? Like, so many people say they're powerless, or so many people don't care. That's what perpetuates the violence and stuff, right? Kind of like the Fear of the Dark, where like nobody cares until a famous person dies, right? Like, nobody cares, and so we just deflect by saying, oh, it's because I'm powerless, oh, I'm just one person. But we are one person. Like, the world is one person, we are each one person, but together we are many. Like, if everyone says, oh, I'm just one person, then of course you're just one person, but together you're the world, and together you could make change and act, if that makes any sense. I hope I made sense. But I like the message, I like the feeling, I love the blood on the world, and the way he's singing. The bass solo was fucking fire. This another great song. This was a great song. Let's keep going with track 9, The Edge of Darkness. Is that 6 minutes or 8 minutes? I can't see. I'm fucking blind. I read it in the spoilers that it's inspired by Heart of Darkness, which is in turn inspired Apocalypse Now. I love to smell the napalm in the morning. That movie's fucking tight, man. I gotta rewatch it. See, I love the mood. I love the establishing intros and the outros. This is gorgeous. I love the panning of the helicopter. The way it's just been going through your ears. This is gorgeous.
Where the blood-red journey ends, when you face the heart of darkness.
See, Blaze is perfect for this sound. I just wish he was mixed a little louder, because he gets buried. As I say that, here he gets better in the mix.
Still I am only in Saigon. The walls move in a little closer. I feel the jungle call me on. Every minute I get weaker.
Fire.
What I wanted was a mission, and for my sins they gave me one.
That's smart mission.
They brought it up just like room service, 'cause everyone gets what they want. And when that mission was all over,
reminds me of the Troopers.
There's a conflict in every human heart, and the temptation is to take it all to part. In this war, things get so confused, but there are some things which cannot be excused. He's acting like you're not an insane lunatic. Your mission terminates with extreme prejudice. Your route is dangerous and your progress may be slow. Here is the file, and it's all you need to know.
This is fire! The way that they're progressing, it reminds me of Die with the Moon song, Lost for Words.
Here I am, the knife in my hand, and now I understand why the genius must die. Now I stand alone in darkness, with his blood upon my hands. Where sat the warrior, the poet? Now lie the fragments of a man.
I've looked into the heart of darkness,
This is fire!
where the blood-red journey ends. When you face the heart of darkness, even your soul begins to bend. I've looked into the heart of darkness.
The way they pan the helicopter leaving. Ooh. Yo. This is probably my favorite song on the album so far. This was fucking fire. Everything. The instrumental, the beat switches, the somber nature, the lyrics, the Blaze, the chorus, the intro. That this is fucking fire. This song was fucking tight. I've looked into the heart of darkness. Cause you know he does that when he goes a little like more brooding. It's just fucking bad. I'm not gonna break down the lyrics. It's one of the summarization ones, but I do know the source material. This is fucking fire, man. The solos are, oh my god. Yannick doing his usual wall of sound, and then Dave coming through it is like sick as the man. This was a fucking banger. This is my favorite one off the album. I'm not gonna lie, it's my favorite one so far. Let's see what the penultimate track has. Let's go. All right. We just did Edge of Darkness. Now we're headed to the penultimate track 10. 2 a.m. I don't know how we gonna follow up that banger of a song, man. Let's see what this all about. So 2 a.m. Again, I love the somberness, the slow buildup of the intros. The brooding nature of this whole album. I love the sonics. This is gorgeous. This is really a continuation of Fear of the Dark, honestly.
I get in from
Look, see, like Blaze is perfect for this.
Turn on late night TV and then I wonder why I'm here. It's meaningless and trivial and it washes over me. And once again I wonder, is this all there is for me? Here I am again. Look at me again. Here I am again. On my own. Trying hard to see what there is for me. Here I am again. On my
He's really good at extending his vocals like that.
Life seems so pathetic. I wish I could leave it all behind. This canvas chair, this bed, these walls that fall in on my mind. Hold on for something that just drags you through the dust. Do you just let go or carry on and try to take the hurt? Here I am again. Look at me again.
Damn, he's just gonna be
Here I am again. On my own. Trying hard to see what there is for me. Here I am again. On my
This is gorgeous. Oh, see, that's a perfect transition to a beat switch. Introduce a little element to switch. That's fire. I'm not gonna lie. Of the 3 Maiden singers so far, I might say Blaze low-key has the best intros and outros. Like, all the intros and outros to this album have been fucking fire. And they're all different. Like, it's not just it's not just a fade out of you know, holding the note. He's been doing different shit. This was a gorgeous song. I don't think it's definitely not as good as Edge of Darkness, but this was beautiful, and I like the message of it. Just like, you know, like, well, it's not really a message, but just like a hopeless person, right? Like, here I am just trying to do my thing, man. Like, it sucks being alone again, but here I am alone. You know, this person needs help. Very pessimistic, depressing. Man, this song was good, man. I really like the way Blaze was singing the chorus. The "Here I am again." Man, this was cool. It was very, very somber feeling. The song, it felt very pessimistic. So I'm interested to see where we go for the final track. Man, this album, let me put respect on this album and on Blaze, cause like maybe I just needed to settle in or something, or maybe it legit does pick up. But I'm feeling it now. I feel like I'm full on board now. Let's keep going. Let's finish this out. Unbeliever. All right, let's finish this strong. I'm already fully on board. Let's see what we can do for the last song. The Unbeliever. So he used to believe it, now he doesn't. Right? That's interesting. I've never heard Maiden do songs like this.
When you start to take a look within, do you feel at ease with what you see? Do you think you can have peace of mind and have self-belief or be satisfied? Do you even think you like yourself?
I really like this.
Or really think you could be someone else? Is there something that you'd rather be? Never thought you'd be, had a chance to see.
I like this. I don't like the verses at all. I don't like the lyrics at all.
Do you think you've lost your self-esteem and your
But I like the
self-respect?
chorus.
What can you expect?
The pre-chorus is fucking fire.
I've run away. All my life, I've tried to hide away.
So he's run away, but his hiding is never sincere.
I've tried to hide away.
Maybe it was just the way Blaze was singing the verses, but this is cool. I mean, the verses.
I've run astray. Let my faith slip away. All my life.
See, I like how he's stringing his vocals.
Allow my faith to drift away.
See, this is tight.
All my life, I've run astray. Let my faith slip away. All my life, I've run astray. Allow my faith to drift away.
drums almost sound tribal. Like I said, every time I say that, it's gonna be baby. Rock as fuck. I feel like that's Dave. So muted though. Almost sounds like rumbling and I'm taking cover. I don't know how to explain it. Like I'm underground and this is happening above my head. Tight. I like how this whole album they've been letting the beats build.
Are you scared to look inside your mind? Are you worried?
Yeah, see, I don't like the way they
do you really want to face the truth?
I'd rather just hear the
now have you got to lose? Try release the anger from within. Forgive yourself a few immortal sins. Do you really care what people think? Are you strong enough to release the guilt?
Even the way he's singing. That's a unique sound made in this intro outro. What is that? That sounds like the triangle shit. I like the. That's the one. Let's have a listen in the background. That's cool. As I said, this song would have been pretty fucking perfect if it wasn't for the verses. The way he was singing the verses, Blaze, along with the instrumental, I didn't like the way he was singing, man. Like, just, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like the through line throughout this whole album has been that a lot of the verses, I find them weak. I don't like the way he's been singing his verses, honestly. But I really like everything else. The All my life I run away. Like everything else, the middle part where it's like everything's heavily like compressed and muted and like real muffled, and like where they were just trading solos and then the noise is coming through, like that shit was fire. It's just the verses, but I'm not gonna let it weigh it down too much for me, the actual enjoyment of the song, because I enjoyed everything else but the way he was saying the verses. But the actual instrumental behind the verses were still enjoyable as well. So I feel like maybe it's the fact that I'm not used to Blaze. I feel like maybe that's what's making the verses worse for me. But at the same time, I can't say that because I'm enjoying what he's doing on the pre-chorus, the chorus, and other stuff. And how he's like his melodic stuff, like when he just goes, oh. So it can't be that. I don't think so. The drift away, all that. See, like I like all that. I just don't like the verses. Man, this was tight. This was a really, really, really good outro for this album, right? Because I mean, I'm not gonna break down the lyrics because this, again, the people who've been doing this whole album, I'm gonna keep it real, I feel like this is their simplest album to date in terms of like understanding lyricism and all that. There's not really a lot of wordplay. Like a lot of the meanings are explicit. There's not a lot of like similes, metaphors. And a lot of the abouts succinctly put the stuff I was going to say, where it's just an introspective reflection of a man who questions his moral and religious beliefs, but he ultimately finds a way to carry on with his life despite the heavy thoughts and suffering twisted his mind. I agree. And that's not necessarily a knock on the album, the fact that it's more simple lyrically than the other ones. It's just, it is what it is. But yeah, man, this was a perfect outro, as I was saying, because we have the themes of the unbeliever, right? The things he believed in, he doesn't believe in now. He's been drifting away. Stuff like in Look for the Truth. Look for the Truth and the Unbeliever are kind of like two sides of the same coin if you think about it. The Aftermath, I'm pretty sure that's the one, like What Happens to a Soldier. I think that's the one. Or, oh no, that's Fortunes of War. And stuff like that. So, Sign of the Cross, like the religious imagery and stuff like that. So I feel like the Unbeliever brings all that together, a lot of the ideas on the album. And we've had a lot of war stuff on the album too. The Edge of Darkness, a little bit of Blood on the World's Hand, the Fortunes of War. Like, okay, alright, man, let's head into the outro. This was pretty fucking solid. Let's go. Alright, then we just finished listening to X Factor, the 10th album by Iron Maiden. First one to feature Blaze Bayley as the lead singer. And honestly, it's definitely nowhere near what some of y'all were saying. Like, some of y'all were saying these albums are rough, that this is some of their worst stuff, that if it's worse than No Prayer for the Dying. Like, bro, y'all must be talking about Virtual X. Like, I haven't heard that one yet, the next one, but y'all have to be talking about that one, because we weren't listening to the same album if we're talking about this one, because this shit was pretty fucking fire. I would say it's slightly below Fear of the Dark, and as we know, I think Fear of the Dark is pretty fucking solid. I think it's much better than No Prayer for the Dying, and really, it's not. It's because Bruce was so fucking terrible in that album, in No Prayer for the Dying. And then this one had a lot of dark, twisted sounding elements, and this album wasn't afraid to breathe, right? It wasn't afraid to have long intros, to have multiple beat switches, to have somber moments, because this album is really, really, really dark. Prior to this album, I would have said their darkest album was Killers. And dark for a different reason, right? Because Killers, I would say it was dark because it was like some real killer shit, some real gangster shit. And then Fear of the Dark was like moody nighttime. And this is more like brooding, depressing, anxiety, like doubtful darkness. Like, this is a different type of darkness we're talking about. And honestly, I fucking love it. I love the feeling. I love the vibe. I love all that. Together, it mixes to just make an hour long depression session, if that makes sense, in the best way possible. It's so dark and menacing, but not scary. Not fear of the dark, not scary, not fears. More like just, it's 2 a.m. I'm alone. I'm drifting away from things that my whole life I used to believe in. And man, as a one cohesive unit, getting into the 4Cs, skipping ahead a little bit, this is 10 out of 10 for cohesiveness. Like the themes, the soundscape, this album was very cohesive. It sounded like a journey into the mind's design of a dark person, of someone that's depressed, man, like just going through life, man. Like, fuck. I hope Steve recovered well from whatever made him write this, because this sounds dark, and it's not necessarily personal. I would say the most personal track would be 2 a.m. Like, I don't know who's the narrator in 2 a.m., but it's pretty fucking personal, right? Like, I come in at 2 a.m. All I do is drink beer and eat like in front of the TV or some shit like that. It's a very depressing song if you think about it. But yeah, like, man, Blaze, man, I need to put respect on your name, Blaze, because whether that be because I was expecting Bruce type vocals or Paul Diano vocals, or maybe I had gotten used to Bruce, or just the fact that I needed to adjust to your voice. I need to apologize because you're pretty fucking dope, Blaze. You're not, well, no, you do have the range, because like on the second half of the album, in a lot of the songs, he finally was employing what I was talking about, like that passion, that ferocity, like not ferocity in the fact that like you sound mean, but more like, show us why you're a singer. Show us, like, do this when you sing, do this. You know what I'm talking about? And he showed us that in the final stretch of the album, and I really, really enjoy that. And he even gave it to us in a little bit of, with the intro. The intro, let me speak about the intro, Sign of the Cross, I think that's what it's called. Fucking amazing intro. It really settled us into the mood of the album, and not just the mood, the sounds, the things they're gonna do, and the structure of the album. Because Sign of the Cross, it's not like a 3-minute rocker. It's not like Prowler. No, this is a long 11-minute journey with long drawn out sections, and Blaze doing what he did for the most part, with like not really changing his inflections and just keeping within that same frequency that he's at, and so it was the perfect intro. I'm not saying it was the perfect intro in terms of enjoyment, but I'm saying, for me anyways, an intro should be a primer. It should prepare you for what you're about to go through. And I feel like this, I can't hear any other intro for this album. That had to be the intro. It was perfect. It introduced the godly concepts, the religious concepts that we would go on to expand upon, especially on the last track and stuff like that, and like, drifting away and stuff like that from your ideals. And it also introduced, like I said, the more epic feeling of kind of reminiscing back to Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, where we're not afraid to let the beat just do its thing. We're not afraid to switch the tempo many times. So all that being said, honestly, this album was pretty fucking solid. My biggest thing is I need to listen to it multiple times. I can't fairly talk about this album without listening to it and just keep replaying and trying to see if I really do enjoy Blaze, or if it's that, or if it is that he's just stand out on the tracks I'm talking about that he stand out on, right? Because like on Lord of the Flies, he was cool, but then it's stuff like Sign of the Cross, the last song, Edge of Darkness, like where I feel like he just went to a different level, a level that he wasn't touching. That's what I feel, but I don't know if it's because I was just biased or maybe I had settled in. But I'm gonna look out for that. So, talking about the 4 C's, we already did cohesiveness. As I said, this is very cohesive. It's cohesive in its darkness. Creativity. Was this album creative? As in, was the singing creative? Was the ideas presented within the songs creative? Were the song subject matter creative? Was the art creative? And again, to no one's surprise, Maiden gets a... Oh no. You know what? I'm not gonna say that this album was a 10 out of 10 for creativity, because they've done this multiple times. Like, Fear of the Dark covered a lot of the same grounds that you cover in this album, with Wasting Love, even No Prayer for the Dying, like the anti-war songs. Like, we kind of covered a lot of the same ground. So at this point, it's not creative anymore, because a lot of the lyrics are the same thing. It's about the same matter. And honestly, they're not being said in a vastly different manner. What is creative is the constant beat switches, the dark nature, the introducing new elements 10 albums in, like with the final track with that weird noise I was talking about that sounds like the triangle instrument. Steve doing another bass solo at the beginning of that one song. So I feel like, all that being said, this is gonna be one of the first times where the creativity has to be like an 8 or a 9. I can't give it a 10 out of 10. We retreaded too many topics. It has to be an 8 or a 9. It can't be a 10 out of 10. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. Consistency. Was this album consistent in its quality? Was it consistently shit? Was it consistently great? Or were there highs and lows? And honestly, consistency-wise, there was no one song where I was like, this is complete booty. I don't believe so. And there wasn't... Well, yeah, I guess Edge of Darkness, I was losing my mind. With that being said, the album was pretty consistent. Well, it had... When you have a singer like Blaze, it's gonna be pretty consistent, because, again, Blaze himself is consistent. He doesn't venture out of his comfort zone very rarely, and we saw that mostly in the final track. So with that being said, consistency wise, I'm gonna say 8 out of 10, maybe even 7, but 8 out of 10 seems good. Conciseness. Was this album concise? Meaning, did every track feel like its runtime was justified? If it was a shorter track, did it feel like it needed to be longer? If it was a longer track, did it feel like it needed to be shorter? If so, you lose points for conciseness, right? Concision, because you want everything to be justified. That's really what it is, right? You want your 1 hour, 11-minute runtime to be justified. If not, that's the definition of filler. That's the definition of fat. Like, just cut all that out, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to think on if I wanted a song to end or if I wanted a song to keep going. I know there were little moments in between the songs where I was like, damn, I wanted to hear more of that. But that was personal. That was because I like that sound they were doing at that moment. I'm not saying that the song would have been better for it. That's just what called to me, right? So all that being said, conciseness, I'm going to have to say... I'm going to have to say 9 out of 10. Right? Because every track was pretty fucking long. Like, most tracks were like 5 minutes or above, I'm pretty sure. And there were only a few times where I was like, okay, we can end it. Like, specifically when he just kept repeating the chorus, and it's like, okay, all right, we can wrap it up. But it wasn't egregious. It definitely wasn't no apparition, no Weekend Warrior where I'm like, bruh, cut this shit off already, nigga. All that being said, this album, it might be a 7 out of 10 for me, honestly. Or maybe a 6, maybe a 7. I don't know. I don't know. I know I enjoyed Fear of the Dark more, but Fear of the Dark was less consistent, because Fear of the Dark had Weekend Warrior. This didn't have a single Weekend Warrior on it. I hope that makes sense. Like, I really like Judas Be My God. I think that smokes any song on this album. but I don't dislike anything as much as I did Apparition, Weekend Warrior, From Here to Eternity. Well, even then, that song wasn't that bad, From Here to Eternity. But yeah, like, this album was pretty solid, honestly. It's pretty good for Blaze's first time, especially because this is your first time with the album. You still with the band, you still aren't quite, you know, chemistry wise, it's still not quite there, right? You still need to warm up to someone, even if you've been in the band for a couple years. It's still your first project, so you still need to gauge fan reception, see what the sales are doing, see how you guys tour, to be like, okay, this is, we could do this, we shouldn't do that or that, you know. So I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt to Blaze and be like, it's a solid start. Same thing with like Bruce, but Bruce came in kicking the door. But like certain stuff that Bruce was doing, like on Gangland and stuff, I'm like, it's cool, it's not bad. So like, I feel like you were still warming up. But again, Bruce gave us legendary. His first one gave us Hollow Be Thy Name, yo. So, and there was no Hollow Be Thy Name here, and I don't mean in terms of like the sonics. I mean like classic wise. I don't think so. Top 3 tracks. Let me see. Okay, so I know I liked Sign of the Cross, Man on the Edge, Fortunes of War, The Edge of Darkness, and The Unbeliever. So it's 11 songs, so I'm going to choose 3 of my favorite tracks. My number 1 favorite track, The Edge of Darkness. Come on. You guys saw my react. I really like that song. That's the only one where I'm like, yo, this is truly like, could have been a classic. Like if we had more of that quality, in my opinion. My second favorite, I know in the reaction it probably didn't come off that way, but when I'm thinking about it right now, like now that I'm done with the album, I'm discussing it, I want to say Sign of the Cross is my second favorite. I'm gonna be real, I like that song. Sign of the, yeah, I'm gonna say my second favorite, Sign of the Cross, and then my third favorite is either it's between Man on the Edge or Fortunes of War. But honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. It's kind of hazy. I'm kind of forgetting how they sounded, so I'm trying to think which one I enjoyed more at the moment. I kind of forgot how they sound a little bit. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm gonna go with fuck, man. I'm gonna go with Fortunes of War. I'm pretty sure for the next reaction, I'm pretty sure my top 3 is gonna change. I know I'm almost positive number 1 won't change. I don't think Edge of Darkness is gonna get topped out by any other track on the album, but I'm pretty sure Fortunes of War might change. I'll have to see. Obviously, I'm gonna update you guys when the updates happen and all that type of stuff. But yeah, this album was solid. Like I said, there's not really a lot for me to complain about. Like, I'm really trying to think. There's not really like a lot of egregious stuff. As I said, a big thing about the enjoyment was the verses. I wasn't really liking the way Blaze was singing a lot of the verses themselves, but the chorus were great. The instrumentals, the build-ups, they were great. The switches, it was great. I love the dark nature of the album. I really like that. I mean, I like dark shit in general. Like, if you hear my music, my actual music is dark as shit. Like, and in all aspects, sometimes the sound is dark, gritty, and disgusting and grimy, and sometimes my lyrics are dark, depressing, down. You know, so I'm attuned to the darkness, and I like it. I enjoy it. Obviously, I like the more cheerful stuff like Drifter and stuff like that, but I like dark shit as well. So this is a nice change of pace because they gave us, like I said, a more like sorrow, despair type darkness. They're very different than like fearful or like killing type darkness. Like, this is just tight. The way they're varying their darknesses or their moods is fucking cool. It's to be commended, honestly. Now, whether that be because that's Steve Harris or that's the band as a whole, I don't know. But yeah, I think Blaze, honestly, he's not that bad. He's pretty good, honestly. I think he's, from the 3, I will say he's my least favorite. Just because I really like Paul. I really like Paul's vocals. They just have like a griminess and a dirtiness that can't be touched, honestly. Yeah. I'm honestly excited to see what they do next with Blaze on the next album. Cause this was a pretty solid intro. For you people who were talking about this album and you're seeing the reaction and you didn't quite enjoy the album when you first heard it, give it a second chance. It's not that bad. It's pretty long. 11 tracks and 1 hour 11 minutes is pretty long, but it's not like the worst thing you could listen to. I mean, there's Weekend Warrior. No, but I mean, there's No Prayer for the Dying. No, but this was still good, like I said. And as I said during the reaction, man, Nico McBrain, man, he was losing his mind throughout this whole album. I'm gonna keep it real. He was probably my favorite part. Him and Steve Harris, they were going in. Guys, I hope you guys enjoy the reaction. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share. I appreciate everything. Leave your top 3 favorite songs off this album. Let me know, what do you think about Blaze? You think he could hold a candle to the previous 2 lead singers in Iron Maiden? Or what do you think about him? You think maybe people were just dogging on him because he was in Bruce? What do you guys think about Blaze? I genuinely want to know. Again, thank you guys for all the support. I love you guys. Please tune in for the next reaction, which will be Virtual XI. Well, next Iron Maiden reaction, because I'm pretty sure we're gonna take a detour to do Bruce's albums. But again, thank you guys. Please continue supporting and comment anything you guys want. Any song recommendations, any album recommendations, bands, artists, whatever. I just love when you guys interact. I love talking with y'all. I love going back and forth. I love hearing everything. Oh, actually, for the people who were there to watch a Blaze show, like when Maiden touring, let me know how the tour was. That'd be interesting, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Blaze has a single live studio album, a live album with Maiden, does he? You guys will let me know. You guys are good with that. You guys are good with all that type of stuff. So with that being said, again, thank you. Have a nice day.